Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to another video. It's the middle of August and we're in the middle of a heat wave here in Britain, and I am at Heathrow Airport because I'm going to be doing one of the things that I love the most. I'm going to be taking a wide body aircraft on a short haul route. This is Hatton Cross, and this is one of my favourite parts of the Heathrow kind of estate. If you can see just over here, you can see that there's a whole lot of British Airways aircraft parked. There's a really kind of weird vibe around this morning. Those aircraft that are parked up there, those 747s, they're not going to fly again. And that's tremendously sad. Also, it's very weird to be able to stand on this footbridge and talk for a whole minute and there'd be no planes flying overhead. Haven't heard a single one since I stepped out of my hotel about 5 minutes ago. And that's very unusual for Heathrow Airport. Anyway, these are strange times. Heading off to Zurich today on a Swiss Airbus A340-300 in business class. It's going to be a fantastic trip and I'm glad that you're joining me for it. Let's go and check out Swiss business class on this short 1.5 hour flight to Zurich. So one of the really cool things about Hatton Cross Station is that on these pillars you can see the original BOAC speed mark, BOAC being one of the predecessor airlines to British Airways.
There are free buses from Hatton Cross to the airport itself, but I always take the tube as it's more reliable. The fare never costs more than £1.70. It's just one stop to Heathrow Terminals 1, 2 and 3. That's the name of the station, which hasn't been changed to reflect the fact Terminal 1 closed several years ago. Terminal 2 is the newest of Heathrow's terminal buildings and sits on the site of the original Terminal 2, which was redeveloped in the last decade. I remember being taken as a kid onto the Queen's building, now demolished as part of the reconstruction, to watch the planes from the roof terrace. The modern Terminal 2 is my favourite airport terminal in Britain and is now a huge building, 4 times the size of Buckingham Palace. There has been a lot of change at Heathrow following the COVID crisis, with footfall and traffic massively down this year. As a result, many airport lounges are closed, and the only Star Alliance lounge available to me was the Lufthansa one, which is perfectly fine, although the United, Air Canada and Singapore lounges are better still. My Star Alliance Gold status would normally give me access to the Senator portion of this lounge, but that too was closed. But no matter, there was table service in the main lounge and there was plenty of peace and quiet. Many of the seating areas had been blocked off or removed to encourage social distancing. Even the coffee machines and bar area were unavailable, although staff were on hand to fetch coffees and drinks if needed. Heathrow doesn't normally publish gates until shortly before the flight opens, which can be irritating, so I just use Flight Radar to find the incoming aircraft, follow it and then locate it visually, meaning I can get to the gate early and relax. Today's video sponsor is Surfshark, an award-winning VPN, virtual private network. VPNs can spoof, perfectly legally, your device's geographic location, giving you lots of advantages, like unblocking blocked content, staying safe on public Wi-Fi, and leveraging lower prices online. Sometimes this works with plane tickets, and I'm back with another example. Flying to Hong Kong in business class this time without the VPN, from the UK I'm seeing the lowest prices here of £1,635 return. Enabling the VPN to search as if I'm from a lower income country can reveal better options, as the way airlines price their tickets sometimes varies between the country of sale. Here, an option with Israeli airline El Al saves us £48. In one go, that's a greater saving than 27 months of Surfshark membership. Go to surfshark.deals/wingin for 83% off and 3 extra months for free of Surfshark VPN.
So it's time to head to the gate about half an hour before it's called. Hopefully get a few nice shots of the aircraft before we get on board. Now, the obvious question, why is Swiss running an A340 on this route? The honest answer is, I just don't know. I've not been able to find out any reason why every Monday in August Swiss have scheduled this A340 on this route. Generally, there are 3 reasons why you might find a wide-body aircraft on a short-haul route. The first one is that the aircraft may require its crew, for example its pilots and cabin crew, to have refresher training, and so it makes sense to operate these flights every now and again to ensure that if there are no long-haul flights for all the crew to operate, that they maintain currency on the aircraft by flying these short sectors with plenty of takeoffs and landings. The second reason is sheer demand of passengers. I think during the coronavirus, where the airports are empty, I don't think that's going to be the reason for today's flight. The third reason could be that there is a lot of cargo demand on this route. I've noticed that not all the seats on this aircraft have been sold, and I don't expect it to be full. That is at least above deck. Now, below deck there is of course massive cargo hold, so it could be that Swiss is selling an awful lot of cargo capacity on this route, and that's why they put a really big aircraft to operate this flight.
Terminals 3 and 4 are closed owing to the collapse in demand, meaning Terminal 2 is handling a lot of airlines and aircraft it ordinarily wouldn't. Another rare visitor was a Canadian C-17 at the VIP apron on the south side of the airfield. Priority boarding was available. Business class and Star Alliance Gold passengers get to board first, which meant plenty of time to snap this A340-300, a type which is becoming rarer and rarer as 4-engine aircraft make way for more efficient twin-engine planes.
Very well. This way for you, sir.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. That's
5K.
add around to the front, please.
Thank you. Hello, morning.
There are 2 business class cabins on the A340, the smaller of which is forward of the wing, here, and comprises just 9 seats. Because of concerns about the virus, I didn't take a walk to show you the other cabin, but this contains an extra 38 seats and extends back over the wing. There's also a small 8-seat first-class cabin in the nose, which wasn't in use on this flight. The aircraft are of course configured for long-haul operations and can be found flying to places like Johannesburg on 10-hour sectors, hence the very nicely appointed cabin. I fly Swiss a lot and find them a consistent and tasteful airline that does all of the important things well.
Thank you.
This seat was retrofitted in the past year and now features a 3-point seatbelt. The shoulder strap needs to be in place for takeoff and landing, but can be released in the cruise to leave just the lap belt in place. The A340-300 is notoriously underpowered and climbs poorly, although a short sector with a light fuel load isn't the best way to appreciate this. Still, the engine sounds are worth hearing in full, because I don't know when or if I'll be back on one of these things again. For all the truth there is in the summer being a bit of a waste thanks to the coronavirus restrictions, here in Britain we had some fantastic weather, which is one thing to be thankful for. We turned south first of all, passing Kempton Park Racecourse, before turning southeast towards Zurich. The flight today will take 1 hour and 34 minutes, covering 491 miles, so there's not long to explore the aircraft and the seat. I always bang on about storage, but this seat has it in spades. Along with the magazine holder, there's a handy and easily accessible cubby under the entertainment screen, and also a large slide-out vertical drawer in the aisle console. I don't think many people will need more storage than this. USB and universal power sockets are both available, and a reading light can be activated from the aisle console. There's even a hanger too for your clothes if you're on an overnight flight. This is, overall, a thoughtful and comfortable seat, with the minor caveat that the table, while sturdy, doesn't swivel away from you, so you might find leaving the seat while it's deployed a bit of a challenge. A pen is included too, which carried the Swiss logo. A big plus, as you'll need to fill out a contact tracing form so you can be contacted in the very unlikely event the flight is the location of a coronavirus outbreak. There is Wi-Fi, but I'm afraid it was far too expensive and far too limiting to bother with. 59 Swiss francs is about £50 or €55. No thanks. This is a morning flight and breakfast was served. Many airlines have reduced their catering using the virus as an excuse, when in reality the airline's finances are understandably in a mess and they're just cutting costs. Swiss, however, have provided a full service with a delicious spinach crepe, although I'm not sure I've ever seen broccoli on a European breakfast before. By the way, earlier in the video I mentioned this flight was operating every Monday in August. Well, since this video was shot, the A340 has been extended to run on the London to Zurich route on most Mondays, Wednesdays and some Saturdays until the 21st of October. So there's still a chance of flying this if you missed out back in August. After breakfast, the obligatory Swiss chocolate was served and I had the chance to kick back and test the seat, which reclines into a fully flat bed.
2/3 of the way between London and Zurich, and Swiss continues to provide an excellent standard of service. I've always found them to be one of the most consistent airlines that I've flown with. Every time you fly with them, the service is really on point, and I love the fact...
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to collect now the contact tracing cards, so please prepare them. My colleague will pass by. Thank you.
It's a good job I finished that already. Actually, the contact tracing form is required for everyone flying on this flight. It's not a condition of entry into Switzerland, it's actually a condition of flying on Swiss, because I'm heading off to Hamburg later on today with Swiss, and they're going to need to know where I've been, which seats I've been sitting in case there is some coronavirus case reported on this flight. But anyway, as I was saying, during the coronavirus, Swiss has provided a consistently good level of service. Unlike other airlines, they haven't really pared back their onboard service. It's pretty much exactly as it was 6 months ago, just with the mandatory masks, as every airline is using now. On the subject of masks, I find them quite annoying to wear. There's a heat wave at the moment in the UK, and there's also been a heat wave whenever I've been travelling this summer. I was in Milan a couple of weeks ago before shooting this video, and it was 37 degrees there, and wearing a face mask all the time is not great fun. But if this is the cost of me being able to get out and do my thing and travel and see some really amazing places, then I don't really think they're that bad a thing, to be honest.
The seat in bed mode is perfectly comfortable and will fit most people, although as usual, if you're over 6 feet you might need to modify your sleeping position to be comfortable. The in-flight entertainment system was available, and I entertained myself by watching debutant Glenn Keely wisely get sent off and go for an early bath, prior to Liverpool putting 5 goals past his Everton side in 1982.
Ladies and gentlemen, again your captain. We have already started this set. Landing in Zurich in about 20 to 25 minutes, that means ahead of our schedule. Actual weather situation in the Zurich area, it's a beautiful day with a ground temperature around 27 degrees Celsius.
So, great fun, and another ride on an A340-300 ticked off. My ticket on this trip was an open jaw, London to Zurich to Hamburg with Swiss, and returning Budapest, Frankfurt to London with Lufthansa. The total price £330, about €360. Personally, I often use open jaws as an efficient way of booking multiple journeys, and with 4 sectors, that brings my costs for each one down to about £82. Of course, you can fly economy too. The cheapest fare I've seen one way for this flight, London to Zurich, is £117. Thanks again to Surfshark for being a consistent sponsor of this channel during a difficult year. Without sponsorship, I wouldn't be able to continue bringing you content, and I encourage you all to visit surfshark.deals/Wingin for 83% off and 3 extra months for free of Surfshark VPN. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you in the next video.